So today I'm going to give you the guidelines of the do's and don'ts when you're using heavy bag or freestanding bag training, and how you can use it to improve your sparring and set a nice foundation for you moving forward. Hi guys, I'm Richie Forde from TKD Coach Academy. If this is your first video, make sure to subscribe down here, and then you won't miss any of our videos which will give you tips, tutorials, exercises and much more to help your Taekwondo and martial arts training. For a long time I used to do a lot of training on my backyard and hitting the bag, trying to improve my sparring training. And then I found out that these techniques were not translating into any of my sparring. That's because techniques by themselves are just like the ingredients to a recipe. Okay, but techniques, they cannot just fit into that recipe. There's another piece of the puzzle that's missing. What you need to do is have an opponent where you can read timing, distance, and you can make decisions actively. Okay, so we're going to show you some of the biggest mistakes and ways you can use the heavy bag to train a little bit more efficiently and effectively. Be sure to watch all the way to the end. It's where we give you some actionable steps to put some heavy bag training to develop your sparring. Okay, some of the common misconceptions when heavy bag training occurs is people think it's great for combination or combos or learning to put some techniques together. However, this is not really the case, because combinations occur in movement. There's a transition moving forward, back, left and right, and of course a standing bag or a heavy bag isn't going to move very far. Okay, so all the techniques are stationary as such. When techniques are stationary, then they're not going to be realistic, because you're not going to be using all your techniques in one matted area of one square, for example. It's going to be moving around, and you have to adjust the distance, timing and things like that from your opponent. You can use a heavy bag training to learn new skills from scratch and to get a certain technique to a standard where you're able to perform it. The big problem is technique does not equal skill. And in sparring we need to have all the skills matched together, like we talked about with a recipe, and that is the idea of sparring. Taekwondo sparring is like human chess, and in a stationary position here hitting a bag, you're missing the chess aspect. There's no moves to be made, there's no decisions to be made, adjustments, anything like that, things to adapt to. Okay, so then your training is quite limited. There are some things that the heavy bag is good for. Number one, learning a technique from scratch, as we mentioned before. 2, cardio training. And 3, for building speed off the mark with your techniques, going from A to B as quickly as possible, so building some speed. When you have taken a technique and you want to progress it into your sparring training, this is where you need a sparring partner or a training partner. Okay, it's very, very important to be able to put your technique into variable practice. Okay, because in this particular moment, doing a technique is only going to be here in this moment, in this position. Okay, we need to be able to read our opponents going forward, going back, moving, adjusting distance, timing, all these other variables, okay, to fit the technique into that particular situation or scenario. So an exercise for you today is to use this banded dolly shaggy that we're practicing on the pads. So you can use this technique to build up the foundations of it, learn the principles that we just discussed, and once you're comfortable with that, then it's your job to bring that into a live environment. That means with an opponent, practicing. Maybe you can restrict the sparring to just spinning kicks only, or maybe only countering spinning kicks or something like that to facilitate this happening, okay? And then this gradually, slowly brings it more realistic into your real sparring rather than just hitting a freestanding bag in a stationary position. So to summarize, you need to use the heavy bag if you want to develop a technique, if you're looking to develop your cardio, or looking to develop your off-the-speed mark from A to B. Otherwise, there are more efficient ways to practice your sparring training, and you really need a sparring partner to use these to best effect. Finally, if you took anything from this video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next videos. We're going to be coming out every week with new videos about training, exercises, tips, everything. So if you're interested in the philosophy of what we're talking about here, you can check the link in the description where you'll see the philosophy of this type of training and where the principles of the training that we use come from.